Dear students, today I am going to discuss about the basic runway length and what are the corrections to be applied to the basic runway length. So, a basic runway length, it is the length of the runway under some standard conditions. So, we are assuming some standard conditions and what is the length of the runway required under that condition. It is known as basic runway length, and if there is any deviation from that condition, that standard condition, then you have to apply some corrections to basic runway length and find out the new length of the runway. So the length of the runway based on the following assumed conditions is known as basic runway length, and the conditions are: the airport is situated at mean sea level, that is elevation is equal to 0. Then airport reference temperature is standard, and the standard temperature at 0 elevation is taken as 15 degrees Celsius. Runway is leveled in the longitudinal direction, that is there is no gradient in the longitudinal direction. No wind is blowing on the runway. Aircraft is loaded to its full loading capacity. No wind is blowing en route to destination, that is throughout the path of the aircraft. And the en route temperature is standard, that during the path of the aircraft also the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. So under these standard conditions, what is the length of the runway required? It is known as basic runway length. And in order to find out the length of the runway, we are considering the performance characteristics of the aircraft during the landing and taking off. And the performance characteristics considered include normal landing case, normal takeoff case, and stopping in emergency or engine failure case. So from these three cases you will get lengths, and the critical value you can take as the basic runway length. So first is the normal landing case. So here the aircraft should be coming to a stop within 60% of the landing distance, assuming that the pilot makes an approach at the proper speed and crosses the threshold of the runway at a height of 15 meters. So you can see here, this is the threshold, that is the starting point of the runway, and when the aircraft crosses this runway at proper speed, the elevation at this point is 15 meters, and it will be landing like this. It will be touching down here and it will be coming to stop here. So this is the distance that is required for stopping, and landing distance is taken as this total distance, and this distance should be equal to 60% of this distance. Okay, 60% of landing distance. So the total landing distance taken will be greater than that is required for landing. So for throughout this length of the runway you have to provide full strength pavement, that is another condition. Next is normal takeoff case. So the takeoff distance must be 115% of the actual distance the aircraft uses to reach a height of 10.5 meters. So in this figure you can see the aircraft will be starting from here, accelerating, it will be lifting off here. So this is the lift off distance, and it will be taking like this. Okay, so when it is just starting to fly like this, it will be reaching a height of 10.5 meter at this point. So this is the distance that will be traveled by the aircraft to reach a height of 10.5 meter. Then takeoff distance will be taken as 115% of this distance, that is distance to reach a height of 10.5 meters. Then at the end of the runway you have to provide a clearway, and the width of the clearway should be minimum 150 meters, and if you are taking the length, it should not be more than half of this distance, that is 115% lift off distance to take off distance. You can take this difference, that is TOD minus 115% of LOD, and half of that you take, and the clearway should not be more than half of that distance. Okay. Next is stopping in emergency or engine failure case. So in this case, when an engine failure occurs, sufficient distance should be available to stop the airplane rather than continue the takeoff, and this distance is known as accelerate stop distance. So you can see here the aircraft will be starting from here, it will be starting to take off from here, then it will be accelerating for some distance, and at this point the pilot may notice an engine failure. Then what happens, it will be starting to decelerate and it will be stopping at some distance here. So to here you can see this distance will be reducing, speed will be reducing. So this total distance from here to here, it is known as accelerate stop distance, and from here to here it is known as decelerate stop distance. So you have to consider this accelerate stop distance also. And at the end you can also provide a stopway and clearway can be provided, or either one only can be also provided. So stopway is also provided as a continuation of runway. The width will be same as that of runway, but the thickness of the pavement will be half of the thickness of the pavement of runway, because there the speed will be less, so the stress we are expecting is less when compared to that of the runway. Okay, so that is the stopping in emergency. So considering these three cases, you have to fix the basic runway length. So once the basic runway length is fixed, there may be some cases where there may be not, usually in cases we will be having this deviation from standard condition. That is, we will not be considering or constructing the airport at a mean sea level, or we will not be constructing at temperatures 15 degrees Celsius. There will be longitudinal gradients. So at that cases you have to apply corrections. So the corrections to basic runway length are correction for elevation, correction for temperature, and correction for gradient. So these are the three corrections. So these have to be done in that particular order itself. First elevation, then temperature, then only you have to do gradient. So the elevation correction by ICAO, it is specified that as per ICAO, the basic runway length should be increased at the rate of 7% per 300-meter rise in elevation above the mean sea level. So for every 300-meter rise in elevation, you have to increase the length of the runway by 7%. That is correction for elevation. Then temperature correction is, after doing this correction, you have to find out the corrected length of the runway, and after that, for that corrected length, you have to do the correction for temperature. Okay, so it will be clear while you are doing the problem. So basic runway length should be increased at the rate of 1% for every 1 degree Celsius rise in airport reference temperature above standard atmospheric temperature at given elevation. So that is correction for temperature. For every 1 degree Celsius rise in airport reference temperature above the standard temperature, you have to apply 1% correction. So this airport reference temperature may not be sometimes given. So at that time you can find it out by using this formula. This airport reference temperature is equal to TA plus Tm minus TA by 3, where TA is the mean of the average daily temperature of the hottest month of the year, and M is the mean of the maximum daily temperature of the hottest month of the year. So TA means you are finding out which is the hottest month of that year. Suppose if it is May, you are taking May, and from that you are taking the average daily temperatures of each day, and average and mean of those averages will give you TA. And similarly, you are taking the maximum temperatures of all the days of May, and you take the mean of that maximum temperatures, and that will give you TM. So using those two, you can find out the airport reference temperature. Next, you can find out standard atmospheric temperature at given elevation by using this equation, that is 15 minus 0.0065 into given elevation. So using this equation, you can find out the standard temperature at the given elevation. So you got the ART and you got the standard temperature. Find out the difference between these two, and for every 1 degree Celsius difference, you have to increase the correct length by 1%. So that is correction for temperature. Then as per ICAO, you have to check the total correction after applying the correction for temperature and elevation, and that correction should not exceed 35%. So this is the correction, that is check for correction, that is total correction in elevation and temperature should not exceed 35% of the basic runway length. That also you have to check. And after that you can go for correction for gradient, and it is specified by FAA, that is Federal Aviation Administration. So the effective gradient, it is the maximum difference in elevation between highest and lowest runway points divided by total runway length. So that is the equation, that is effective gradient. You can take the highest and lowest runway points throughout the length of the runway and take the difference between those two and divide by the runway length. That will give you the effective gradient. So highest elevation minus lowest elevation divided by length of the runway, it will give you effective gradient. And after doing the temperature and elevation correction, you have to do the correction for gradient. So the runway length is increased at the rate of 20% for every 1% of effective gradient. So it is correction for gradient. So after doing these three corrections, you will get the final length of the runway after doing correction. So it will be always greater than basic runway length after doing corrections. Okay, so that is about the corrections that is to be applied to basic runway length. The problems we can discuss in the next video. Okay, thank you.